Welcome back to Geek Aloud. You've got Bully for another Let's Install, and today on the Xbox Series X coming to Game Pass, we are looking at a bit of a mouthful of a game, but Slayers X, Terminal Aftermath, Vengeance of the Slayer. Just dropped onto Game Pass itself, so we'll start the install there, jump back across to the queue, and have a look and see that's Slayers X, Terminal Aftermath, Vengeance of the Slayer is 3.12 gigabyte install, so not a massive one there. And while that is installing, we'll just run through and have a look. That developed by Big Z Studios, or Big Z Studios, published by No More Robots, and it is a bit of a throwback to the 90s FPS originals in Doom. And maybe a little bit of Wolfenstein 3D as well there, but certainly has that art style and the aesthetic throwback to those types of games. And while we're running through the install there with about 3.5 minutes to go, I will tell you about checking out this channel every Thursday night at 8 PM Eastern Australian time for the Gaming Enforcement Agency, and that is a podcast with myself, Troy, and Unky Dunky, discussing the games that we've been playing for the week, the news and upcoming game releases, and the standoff, where we pick a different topic each week and we throw a number of games, I should say, into that topic and come out with a winner. And we're always jumping into the YouTube chat there as we're going along, picking out any comments or questions that the audience may have, and anything we don't get to during the show, we'll do a bit of a wrap up for at the end as well. So that's Gaming Enforcement Agency on this channel, Geek Aloud. And if you can't join us for YouTube, or you would prefer to listen to the audio version, just search for Gaming Enforcement Agency on the podcast service of your choice. And if you can, and you're doing it on the podcast, if you could leave us a rating and a review, it certainly does help getting us out into the wider world and hopefully growing a bigger audience there. But that's Gaming Enforcement Agency, and we had a couple of drops in the last couple of days for Game Pass as well. So recently added ones, we had Chicory, we had Far World Pioneers, Car Mechanics Simulator 21, this one here, Slayers X, and then the Big Con Grift of the Year edition. So still a bit of new releases, even though they're not massive releases that are being thrown up on a Game Pass at the moment. We are still getting a steady stream there as we fly through. So while we finish up with this one, and we'll be back shortly once it's installed, just to have a bit of a look at some of the options and the total install size on Slayers X as well. And there we are, certainly not a long install there at all for Slayers X. We'll jump into the game itself, and as I mentioned before, you can see with the art style there, a bit of a throwback to those early FPSs from the 90s.
When I was 16, I designed a computer game in this notebook, and it was awesome. But then it got lost.
I'll just skip through that one, and we'll go to the settings and see gameplay settings. So auto run, normal, extreme, normal. Normally it has off or normal. Audio settings there, just the volume controls. Video there, so not much in terms of there. Certainly no performance setting or graphical setting for Slayer's X. Terminal Aftermath, Vengeance of the Slayer. We'll jump back into this one and we will just round it off by having a look at the game itself. And you can see up the top there, 3.4 gigabyte. Small install size there for that one. And they're currently running version 1.0.23.0, and that is Slayer's X, Terminal Aftermath, Vengeance of the Slayer. Another successful Let's Install for Geek Aloud. What else can you do with the channel? Like it, subscribe it, you'll never miss it.
Oh, that was luck. Hey, that's something. Old Uncle Donkey. Donkey.